Custom draperies are the perfect way to dress your client's windows, providing privacy, elegance, and even layers of insulation from the glass to help maintain the temperature of the room. If you've submitted our workroom form for a quote request, you may have noticed a space on your quote for the projection. In this video, we'll go over exactly what the projection is on a pair of draperies. It can get a little confusing because there's different words people use to describe the same thing. But basically, if you're looking at the pleat header along the top of a pair of draperies, imagining they've already been installed in the home. Let's focus on the far right and far left edges, where the drapery goes back to the wall for full coverage of your space. For this example, we're looking at a room divider. For most draperies, you'll see a space after the very last pleat on the far left of the left panel and the last pleat on the far right of the right panel. The distance between these last pleats and the very edge of the drapery is known as the projection. But this is just the word we use on most of our quote forms. Some people use the word returns because after the drapery stretches across the space you're covering, it returns back to the wall at the very edge. Whichever word you choose, we'll probably understand what you're saying, or we'll come back with questions on your quote if further clarification is needed. Our standard measurement is 3.5 inches for the projection or return on most draperies. If you're confused about what measurement to give us for the returns, we would advise talking to your installer, but you can often determine this yourself by measuring how far your rod is installed from the wall. So now that we've covered the projection or returns as the measurement of the drapery going back to the wall after the last pleat, we'd like to explain the term overlap, which is similar in nature to the projection and returns and can sometimes cause confusion in the ordering process. While the projection and returns involve the outer edge of a pair of draperies, the overlap refers to the measurement of the inside edges after the last pleat, where the drapery may open and close if the draperies are fully functional on a traversing rod. More often than not, we proceed with our standard 3.5 inch measurement for the overlaps as well, providing full coverage when the draperies come together as they close. However, if you've requested a wide trim down the center of your panels, we might suggest accommodating with a wider overlap so that the trim doesn't fall into the first pleat along the top. For stationary panels that are for decorative purposes only and do not move across a rod for full coverage, the designer might request no projection or no overlap. In this case, the drapery would end on a pleat on one or both sides, instead of the standard 3.5 inch flat space after the last pleats. We might also call this a center panel if the designer plans to install smaller decorative panels between a bay window. Center panels can also be achieved by using the same measurement on the far left and far right side of each drapery for a uniform look. Otherwise, the projection going back to the wall is most often determined by the distance between the rod and the wall and may have a wider measurement than the overlap. With custom window treatments, there's so many possibilities. It's exciting, but it's difficult to cover them all in one segment. So stay tuned for more videos by subscribing to our channel, and thanks for watching.